what's up, guys? It's Clint, eating a cookie. Boy, that intro was shorter than expected. Welcome back to another episode of Versus. Tonight, we've got a crazy show for you. You see, after doing this for over a year, you kind of realize that this show isn't as much about movies as it is the relationship we have with our chat and our fans that come back every week. So Curtis and I, who's Curtis, you ask? Well, he's my trusty compatriot who's going to join me right here. Boom. Curtis and I decided, hey, let's just have a hangout where we get to spend time with the chat and talk and plan, and we'll discuss possible future episodes and just hang out. And so we decided to do that. We're not reviewing or breaking down movies. We're just hanging out with our fans. And that's really a clever way of saying we didn't have time to watch movies this week.
Yeah.
No, but for real, I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, we're just gonna hang out. We don't have to worry about a bunch of stupid questions that are fun to answer, but we'll just hang out. And so to do that, said hanging out, we need to check in with the chat. So let's see, where the hell's the chat at? Find the chat. Oh, there they are, the chat. Boom. But before we get into the good stuff, guys, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. How you doing, man? Curtis, what are you up to?
Not much, man. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. We were both crazy busy this week. We didn't have time, but we still wanted to hang out with our Friday fam.
Yeah.
So,
what's up, Friday fam? Let's see. What's up, everyone? Happy Friday, says Jedi Master EJ. Anybody else out there? Not that Jedi Master EJ isn't enough to hold it down for everyone. He is a Jedi Master, after all.
Yeah, and Mel's at the party, and we need to say happy birthday to Mr. Carl Beck O'Neill. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Carl Beck O'Neill.
Bum, bum, bum.
And we
How old
gotta
are you, Carl?
get some clapping there. Oh, that's the wrong. We'll get some. Yeah, that's for Carl right there. All right. How old are you, Carl? That we'll never know. It's rude to ask a Carl their age, don't you know?
True.
True dat. Well, what have you been up to this week? Curtis, anything exciting?
No, nothing really exciting.
What?
Yeah, not really. Just going to work, coming home, watched a few things. Did you ever finish The Last of Us?
Finish it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I sure did. It was fantastic. That show was fantastic. Dude, I'll tell you what I did. I got the AMC Movie Pass for $19.99 a month. Comes out to $21 and some change after tax. And I could watch up to 3 movies a week and whatever I want. They don't put limitations. Oh, you can't do new movies, only old movies. There's no. It's just like you got 12 movie tickets a month, and there's not ever more than 12 good movies in the theater in a given month. So this has been fantastic because I can just pay for that in 2 movies, and I go see 2 movies a month all the time. You know, and they're making their money on, I go in there and buy my $6 soda, and they're making their money, and everyone's a winner. But let's see what I've and I've even scheduled, got the seats, and then been like, you know what, I'm not gonna have time to go do that later. I'll and you can cancel, so it's pretty pretty sweet, yeah. Let's see what I've done. Yeah, I saw John Wick last night, which was fantastic. I saw Fury of the Gods. I saw 65. I saw Creed 3. I saw Cocaine Bear. I've just been going on a movie spree, and it's been glorious. Glorious, glorious, glorious.
What was the before 65? What did you say? What was it?
Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's the sequel to everyone's favorite. I was trying to make a joke.
Comic book
Shazam movie. Yeah, it was fun. They're getting a lot of hate online. Everybody's like, "Oh, it fucking sucked." It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
I mean, I haven't seen either, but I heard the.
You haven't seen the first Shazam?
No, or I don't know if I have. If
Dude,
I have, I don't remember it.
It's good. The first one's really good and fun.
Yeah. Well, no, but I was saying about Ant-Man. Ant-Man was getting a lot of hate too, and everybody I know says it was, kind of the same thing. It was good. It was a good comic book movie.
It was solid. It wasn't great, but it was good.
Yeah, I think people are just exhausted with them now. I think because even I am to a degree. I was going to go see Ant-Man, and I may still, but I'm like, I'll wait for streaming. Like it just, I don't know. Like it's,
dude.
There was nothing more. There's nothing more epic than that Infinity Saga. It's never going to live up to that. But it's like they're still trying to ramp it up again. It's like I don't know. They got to bring it back down.
Well, they did bring it back down, and because it had to do new world building, and then when they brought it back down, everybody was like, "These suck." Well, yeah, you have to invest in all these characters. You gotta get people invested in these characters, and you have to tell these boring stories that aren't quite as delicious as Thanos destroying half the universe. You know what I mean? And that's just a thing. And like,
I mean, that's true, but I mean, they did legitimately suck, most of them. But at the same time too, like they're going for this cosmic level threat again. They should have done something else. They should have gone, I keep saying more street level, but
you're right. It should have been more street level. That's exactly what it should be.
Or this would have been a perfect time for Midnight Suns go a different direction, like that mystic level threat, or something like just something different. Now it's
they're gonna tap into that as Blade moves along. Yes, we're just chilling out today. Today is called Hang Time, and right now we're talking about comic book movies. 35 years young, your friend is. That's awesome.
Congrats, Carl.
Congrats. You made it. 35. It only gets better from here. I can tell you.
Oh, yes. Cheers, Poopsie. That's what it is.
So I started having an interesting conversation last night, and I was talking about comic book movies. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'm like, for instance, Ant-Man, I think could have been stretched out into 2 movies, and because I really liked the quantum realm. I liked some of the Star Wars-esque alien stuff looking things that they get into, and Bill Murray shows up, but you only get a little taste. They don't really go into it. I didn't like the I have holes character. There was a little like a little group of creatures that all didn't speak the same language, but once they all take the goop, then they could all understand each other and all that. I thought that was a little bit Thor Love and Thundery for me. It was like real kiddie, and I'm like, I want to see some serious stuff. Like I want to see some Wakanda serious, some Captain America serious, some Iron Man serious, and this was like the same way that well, not as bad, but how they make a mockery of the gods being in this big room, and it's all like, dude, is this like Aqua Teen Hunger Force or something? Like it's all like very, you know what I mean? It's all very like weird and cartoony, and so I thought that they did that with that group of people and the I Have Holes guy and stuff, but I did enjoy some of the taste you start getting of like this whole world, and like it's almost like a galactic senator that Bill Murray has become and all this stuff. And I'm like, if they just spent a whole movie talking about the war happening in there and called it like Kang, you know what I mean? And been like an introduction to Kang and seen some of the bad stuff instead of talking about it in past tense, but spelled that out and then had a Ant-Man cameo It could have been 2 movies, and then could have gone and made its way into what they're going to do anyway. But it wouldn't have just grazed over it. They could have filled it out to where it felt good and had purpose and stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of just like a smattering of a bunch of characters, a little smattering of some world that's happening down there, and then we're going to get out. And I'm like, I feel like Star Wars kind of happened for a second, and then a whole bunch of ants that I don't care about. Spoiler alert. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I don't know. It was a weird feeling I got from that movie. Go ahead.
Well, that's I can't remember who it was. Somebody else online I was watching, and they were kind of reviewing it a little bit, and they were saying, basically, kind of agreeing with you. They were saying it's one of those movies that makes you think, I want to see the other movie, like the other movie that they're talking about. Like, I want to see that movie, or like whenever, something like Edge of Tomorrow, whenever we're like, we want to see the one with what's her name in it, Valkyrie. Like, we want to see that movie, like that. He was kind of saying that, they talk about stuff that had happened, and it's like, well, that's what I wanted to see. Like, not what I see. Like, so.
And I got into, hey, we got James in the house. What's up, dude? Yeah, you know what that means when you hear that horn. Just kidding. What's funny is my internet was out for a couple of days too. So me and James, we talk online a lot, so he's probably thinking, dude, Clint probably thinks I'm off the grid. And I was like, dude, I haven't talked to James for a couple of days. I had no internet for a couple of days too, which is a terrible place to be in when you're in this business. You know what I mean? Like, so it was a huge pain in the butt. And they finally had to come and bring a new modem and all this crap. But I got up and running just a little bit before the podcast. So, woohoo! Yeah. So I started thinking about all of these recent movies, right? Mm-hmm. And I might even create a solo video about this. But I started thinking about these movies, these recent movies, and I stumbled onto something that I didn't really think of until I got in. We kind of the conversation got side railed to where we started talking about DC characters and stuff. And I realized how important themes are. Mm-hmm. John Williams specifically themes, you know what I mean? But like, yeah. when you get a character like Wonder Woman, and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, and all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah. Ass kicking is about to happen. Like, and there's some serious ass kicking happening, and it feels great. When we heard the old school 1989 Batman music kick in the Flash trailer, all of a sudden it took us there, and we're like, yes, they're using the old music. And I will argue, there's going to be some people get mad at me because they love Man of Steel, but the Man of Steel theme doesn't hold a candle to the John Williams Superman music that from the OG Superman. And when I was a kid, it's to be fair, very few movies do. Yeah, go ahead. Very few. And there's something to be said about that feeling you get when you're a kid and you put your arms out like this, and you start going dun 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 dun. And you start running across the playground. You and I both done it.
Tie a towel around your neck.
Towel. It's exactly what I was gonna say. You put a towel on. All you need to be a kid to become a superhero is a blanket or towel. And you start singing that song, and like magic, you turn into a superhero, and you can make believe, and you're playing the way kids want to play and having fun. And there's something about music that can transform movies to do that. And God, and there are some great themes here and there, but there's something about bum ba dum bum ba dum, and you're like, whoosh, all of a sudden you pick up a rope and it becomes your whip, and then you've got like a dun 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 dun. and you're in trouble because something bad's about to happen. You know what I mean? And there's like all these things. You could sit in a chair and start singing the Star Wars theme song and pretend you're in the Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean? Okay, kids, you're all clear. And it's like there's something about these themes that it really points out how important John Williams is in the universe and in these movies. And you take Ant-Man, it's a pretty good movie, pretty good music, I guess, but there's no, like, the Eternals. None of these movies have I heard where there's music, and I don't mean to be insulting to the music people. The music is fine, but there's something specific when you, and they did it with Wonder Woman. This isn't John Williams. They nailed it with Wonder Woman. Anytime that person comes on screen, and you're like, and you get excited, and you're like, fuck yeah, Wonder Woman's kicking ass. And like, there's something about that, and I think they need to figure out how to make some of these characters come to life with some real music like that. And I don't know, it's just a rant that I went on last night, and I was like, it's really interesting because you can count on one hand these things that really evoke those feelings, and you don't get it. You don't. It's like, it's lucky when they can do that. You know what I mean? What do you think? What are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts in the chat? Am I crazy? You're like, dude, you're a moron. It's the music in this movie was incredible. Maybe it just flew over my head, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree, man. That there's certain themes that just, they capture the character perfectly. And not that necessarily a lot of these movies have had bad music. They've had fine music, but it didn't just basically tell you who the character was, or explain the character with music without words or pictures or anything like that. And for example, so me and wifey were rewatching the Rockies and the Creeds, because we were going to go watch Creed 3 until I read about all the stuff about them trying to push out Stallone and stuff. So I'm waiting. We didn't go see it. We were waiting for streaming. But
that's a real fan right there.
I didn't know about any of that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna check the time, and I was like Googling it, and they're trying to muscle out Stallone, and not Michael B. Jordan or anything like that, with the producers and stuff. But that's a whole other conversation.
What's interesting is he directed it, and that's his franchise now. He's directing it the way Stallone was the star and was directing his own movies. So it's a pretty interesting contrast to then and now, passing the torch. But go ahead.
Well, no, but that's the thing. In watching Creed, it's a good movie, and the stuff's going on, and you're like, okay, Creed's an okay fighter. He's a young kid. This stuff, but I think it's the first. It's the first one, and he's getting his butt whooped a little bit, and then it's not the full theme, but they start playing the Rocky theme, a little bit, within the score. They put it into the score, and I just felt this thing, oh, he's gonna whoop some ass now.
You're like, oh my god, it's going down. Yes,
and it's just, they're so ingrained in that character, but at the same time they fit that character so well. And James makes a good point. The Avengers theme, to me,
yes, I was just gonna put that on the people's. Clint, people felt the same way about the Avengers theme, and it only took 10 years. And you're right, the Avengers theme does have that iconic feeling. I wonder if it's what were you going to say about that, Curtis?
No, I was just going to say, it absolutely does, and it made me, it's kind of, that's the thing. For a lot of those heroes, it kind of is their theme, because Ant-Man doesn't have a theme and stuff like that, and Iron Man has AC/DC. I mean, that's kind of badass, but so it's kind of a lot of those guys' themes, but I don't know. There's something missing with a lot of them too. That you're right. I think that would ingrain the character a lot more into our psyche, because it's like you're saying, if you're playing superheroes, you got the towel around your back, and whatever song you're seeing, you can be like, oh, they're playing Superman, or oh, they're playing Batman. If you're running around with a purple towel on your back or something like that, but you're going bum 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 bum. They're like, oh, he's playing Batman. Let's go play Batman.
Yeah,
they wouldn't even.
Well, in the Avengers is up here, and we're talking I'm kind of talking about these newer movies that are not memorable. That's the deal. It's like all these
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
It's like what about it makes them not memorable? It's what I was trying to think of. Like what makes them not punch through the way some of these movies do punch through. That's my
I mean,
question.
I think it's like theme has to do with it, but I couldn't name you the Black Panthers theme, but those movies still, to me, are the best of the Phase 4 and some of the best of Phase
The
1.
Black Panther movies.
Yeah, and I couldn't name his theme. Maybe he has one. But so it's not just that, of course. Like, but Thor's theme, I kind of I've got a feel for it, but I couldn't play it for you. But
There is a
like,
charisma factor that clearly is important too, and you got to also wonder, like, okay, are we running out of actors? There's so many characters, and now we're running out of. I mean, I know there's tons of unknown actors that they could throw into these things, and then they'll
sure.
become. They'll be. I guess none of those actors were that. Besides Robert Downey Jr. were that big a deal before these Marvel movies. The exception of like
Right.
ScarJo,
But even then, she blew up more so afterwards. She was a known actress, but she wasn't like super famous or anything. Well,
she was in my book, pal.
yeah. Um, but even Chris Evans, he had done a lot of independent stuff, and he'd done plenty of movies. He even played the original Human Torch. He kind of just looks like a superhero. He's one of those people. But it wasn't until like Cap was just a very good fit for him. He made that work somehow.
Yeah. Texas, the Texas of Canada, Alberta. Yes, it is. That's what I've heard. Oh, the Texas of Canada. That means there's rednecks there. Is that what you're saying? Exactamundo. Oh, let's see here. Agreed, but people said the same thing about Marvel themes until Avengers theme broke through. Yeah, that one. I wonder how much TikTok is responsible for that. You hearing it in the background? All those short clips too, where you're like
the Avengers
on
theme?
your left, yeah.
But I mean, it's just really good. I mean, and again, not that the other ones are bad, but I don't know why it doesn't necessarily click as much. And yeah, and it's not.
Well, let's talk.
Yeah, the Imperial March. Whenever it's like you're walking to a job interview or something like that, and you need to feel badass, that's what you play. Or
your boss has been gone, and your boss just shows up, and you're like, dun 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 dun.
And I'll say, of course, the Conan theme, Basil Poldaris or whatever his name is, the Conan the Barbarian theme. Bum 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 bum.
Oh, I thought you meant Conan O'Brien. Yeah, when I hear the Max Weinberg kick in, you better watch out. Hold on, I got. Where are you, Imperial March? I did. Oh, here it is. I did this recording of the Imperial March on bass and guitar. Ooh, I just spilled my water all over my phone. I got excited.
We can tell.
Yeah, I spilled water all over my computer, everywhere. This is great. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yes, the Dunder Mifflin theme from The Office. I would say I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so I would say Godzilla's the Godzilla March as well is iconic. But to me, I mean, honestly, too, guys, there's just something the movies haven't been as good. Like I would say, although I'm a Marvel fan, anything that DC put out before, some of the newer stuff was better than anything in Marvel Phase 4. Like besides, Spider-Man No Way Home was great, but it was kind of a carnival ride for fun. And I really liked the tone of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but I wanted more of what was there. Uh, and the Wakanda Forever I thought was very good. Probably the best of Phase 4. Feel so polished, so much more of the same. So I don't know. It's just it's what it feels like. If you're a comic book fan, it feels like comic books in the '90s. I didn't recognize it as a comic book fan in the '90s, but it was just this rampant commercial like collector culture that came up after Batman, and like they're just pumping stuff out left and right, and like selling kids books, whatever it is. And then there's issue number one of this, issue number one of that, and everybody thinks they're gonna be worth all this money and stuff like that. They pumped out so many that they're really not worth that much now. And you go back and read them, and it's hard to find a lot of good storylines. And that's what it feels like. It's like we got some success here, so just shove it out the door, get them out the door, and like that's what it feels like with the movies now. And I don't want that. I really don't want that. I'd rather have a movie a year instead of like 5 series and 3 movies, but have it be really, really good and making me want to wait for the next one instead of being like,
and
I'll see it on the streaming,
That's what they're doing now. Now that Chapek's back or Iger's back,
yeah,
he's doing that. They've completely stripped down the production schedule. They've pushed back a whole bunch of the things and changed things, and they want us like I'm doing that thing. Yeah, we scored 12 touchdowns last night. We won the game. You what do you mean, y'all? You don't play football? Like, yeah, I was like, yeah. They want us to do less stuff, crank out less material. Hold on, I'm stuttering because I'm trying to get James on here. James is gonna come hang with us for a bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. And I mean, we've said the same thing about Hollywood for a while, and comic book movies were the new thing, and they nailed it. God dang, they nailed it. They just killed it. And then now this is happening. We knew everybody genres come and go, but this is a fairly new genre successfully. And now it's like, what's going to replace it? I really think with The Last of Us, with Mario Brothers coming out, with video game adaptations being done well, that's going to be the next big thing. They're going to start putting out good adaptations of video game movies, and that's going to take over because that's the new zeitgeist. That's the new, young culture. Is they get more of the. I never played The Last of Us. It's a very good storyline, but all of these games that kids are playing growing up, and that we played growing up too, like Mario and Zelda and stuff. Hopefully and Metroid. Like some of the stories are sitting there and they're so great. And so yeah, I think that comic books is going to take a break. I don't think they're ever going to go away again, and they will have a revival, but it's going to be video games that takes the throne soon, I think.
Do you think it's going to be in films or series like The Last of Us? Yeah.
I think it's going to be both. I think it's
still, you got like Uncharted, you got certain movies, they're like The Last of Us, the first one that's broken the stigma of video game movies are trash. And
yeah.
I don't think that I don't think that Sonic and Mario Brothers count because they're more cartoony anyway. But I'm talking about like live action types of video games. You know what I mean? And I think that the new Mario Brothers is going to be kick ass.
I think it is. Well, that's what I mean. I think it counts because it's a successful adaptation. Like that's the thing. There haven't been any good successful. I don't want to say there haven't
Sonic
any. Well, that's what I mean. Sonic kind of opened the door.
I don't count Nintendo stuff because it's so kiddie. It's so cartoony that I don't count it on, say, something like oh geez. Doom or
Well, the Doom
Doom.
movie sucked too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Doom movie sucked. I don't count. Like, it doesn't surprise me to get a good Nintendo movie.
But see, no,
Or
but that's
Sonic.
the
I even lump it in there, even though it's Sega, but I lump it in there because those are like
but
kiddie, cartoony, younger age movies, and we've gotten really good at making kid content. But if if you're trying to make a real Metroid movie, which I'm contradicting myself because that is Nintendo. But let me just check. But Doom, you know what I mean? Doom or Hitman or Splinter Cell or something like that would not be a kiddie movie with a bubbly, cartoony character. This is gonna be like real shit. Who are we gonna cast? Blah blah blah. How do we make this not cheesy kid show, but like a real live action thing? The way The Last of Us did. Last of Us took a video game that wasn't a kiddie video game. It's an adult video game and made a badass adaptation with great storytelling that can be taken seriously, unlike the Resident Evil, which is just super cheeseball. Which I love all those movies. I've seen them all. I've seen them all.
I own them all, but it's not. The game is a bazillion times better. The storyline. Yeah. But and so I mean that's a good point, but like they're like you said, Metroid could be the Nintendo properties are the ones that can bridge both gaps. You can make them kiddie with Mario and Sonic, and then you can make them adult with but you can make it fit for both, like with a Metroid or with a Zelda if they do Zelda right.
Zelda would be that's the crazy one. Like, people are so insane about Zelda. There's some super fans of Zelda. So
weird.
Yeah.
Some people.
That you better not screw that up. And I wonder if they're going to get all comic book fan on like, dude, blah, blah, blah. They're going to get weird about, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Anybody who's a super fan of anything, there's always got, but I mean, there'll be people who like me who notice it, but it's like, I understand for the movie, but there's some people that are like, no, it has to be true to form. And his name was blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård is Link. He's 6'3". He's too tall or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, which they did about Hugh Jackman.
Jackman. Yeah. Hugh Grant is Wolverine.
Hugh Grant is Wolverine.
Oh, that would be hilarious. I want to jump to that universe for a little bit.
That would have been hilarious if that happened in the Scarlet Witch movie. If like,
that would be amazing.
Hugh Grant as Wolverine,
and this bumbling Englishman. Then she falls in love with him. And
oh boy! All right, let's see what they're saying up here. Go and eat, then I'll hop in there. You better. Hi, James, says Bobby. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Riley. Enjoying the sunshine? I am. Actually, it's enjoying the sunshine. I am. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Welcome, Riley. Welcome, Bobby. We missing Bills?
What do you think would be some good games that could be made into live action? Like let's do some and let's give me some fan casting too. I want to.
Oh God. So I'm still waiting for a solid Resident Evil movie. I thought the show on Netflix was actually pretty good. It was, a lot of people didn't like it. It still wasn't an adaptation of the video game, but I thought the Netflix. Did you ever watch
liked
that
it. One? Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I thought that one was pretty good. But what else? I mean, obviously, like I said, Metroid and Zelda. But again, I would rather them not make a Zelda movie than screw it up. So I really like the Mario Brothers is going to be a good gauge of how well they can do it because Nintendo's actually doing it the way Marvel did. It's Nintendo Studios partnering with Illumination and to make the movies. Bless you. And bless you. That I heard they might buy out Illumination or something like that. I don't know, but
yeah, they're doing a separate studio. I read that too, which is cool. I think that's awesome. I mean, and there's some serious billion dollar potential, billion dollar movie potential with the with the Nintendo property. So I really think they're gonna go swinging. I almost said something else. They're gonna with the Mario movie. They're definitely gonna come out swinging. That's a good correction there. So I'm pretty excited to see that. Like I watched the trailer. I was like, whatever.
I just realized. Go ahead.
You figured it out. All right. Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna come out swinging and then beat their fists on the table. You know what I mean? A couple times. But yeah, I was excited. I saw that trailer and I said, "Holy cow!" Like it just like lit up the screen and it took you to Nintendo World. They did a really good job with just the feel, the colors, and everything. It was really cool.
What else? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so many other video game franchises that I've played, but I'm not up to date on the newer ones. Doom obviously would be a good one. Oh God, this is
Doom could be really good.
BioShock, if they it'd be great if they did BioShock.
The thing is, also I was going to say Splinter Cell. It's an old one. That was a really fun game for me when I played a lot of that. And then I'm like, yeah, you could make a Splinter Cell movie, and then they might be one. But yeah, you could easily do it. But how corny would it come off like a 90s? You know what I mean? Like those 90s movies. Like I could almost see feel the game. I mean the B movie of Splinter Cell. Like,
well, and that's how they would have done it in the past. That's what I mean. Like that's how they, would have made it, and then everybody would have been pissed off, and like nobody would have wanted to see any video game movies anymore. But they're starting, and I think it's probably because the people with money in the past and the people making these movies in the past didn't grow up with video games. We're getting to a point now where people with influence, with money, are like, yeah, that is a good game, and they either still do or did play video games and recognize and understand that there's a story involved. It's not you just, it's not Pong every time. Pong's fun, but I don't want to see. But here's the deal. Once video game movies take off, they'll be like Pong the movie. It's coming.
They're making a Tetris the movie.
How?
It's actually the story of Tetris, but
okay. Well, that's cool.
Apparently, there's a story behind it. But did you ever see Assassin's Creed?
Mm-mm.
With Michael Fassbender?
Mm-mm.
Michael Fassbender plays Magneto. You know who he is, right?
Yeah, okay.
Plays the younger Magneto. He's an excellent actor, and he was in Assassin's Creed, and that was just a giant steaming turd. Just terrible.
They made a Hitman movie.
They made a couple of Hitman movies. Man, I loved that game. Hitman might be my all-time favorite video game.
Did you see any of the movies?
I saw them all, and I was just like, God, it hurts.
Why do I keep doing this to myself?
Yeah, it hurts to see those.
Okay, in the next one.
Yeah, I loved Hitman. I was like, Hitman was just fun. I never played it stealthily. I just ran in like Leroy Jenkins every time, everywhere, and just killed my way through the game. I didn't care how many casualties. You're supposed to be stealthy and fuck that. I'm killing everyone.
Only get your target.
Whatever. I just I just go in and kill everybody and had a great time. I guess you're not supposed to say the K word. So I'm going to speak cryptically, and the people who watched the episode will understand. When we were getting shut down last week, we were discussing inappropriate acts of the dog from Man's Best Friend, where there was a collie who was not interested in him, and he didn't let that stop him, and we might have dropped an R word several times, and I have a feeling that might be why we kept getting ducked off cut off. I don't know if it was for playing the clips. What's really funny is that I rent out my studio for other podcasts sometimes, and So I messaged Curtis in the middle of the night, dude, I think we kept getting cut off because we kept saying the R word. And
Mhm.
I wake up to Curtis texting me in the morning, and apparently my phone auto corrected, and Curtis couldn't use context clues to figure out what I was trying to say. And I haven't even focused my eyes yet. I'm trying to look at the screen, and Curtis is asking me what the rate is, and I'm like, Curtis, not rate, the other word and the bad word, and I put doggy in front of it, and so then my eyes start focusing. I mean, I've just woken up. I got woken up to the text, and then I look, and it's not Curtis. This is a guy who saw my Facebook Marketplace ad and was like, "How much is the rate for your studio?" And I just texted him back, a complete stranger, doggy R, doggy, rhymes with doggy rate. But it wasn't that. And so this guy is like, what? And sees that. And then I'm like, oh God, I just texted the R word to a complete stranger. And I'm like, no, man. And so and then I was like, I started trying to dig myself out of this hole. And I was like, dude, we just need to talk like on the phone, because I can't describe via text what happened. And so this guy, I called him. He gave me his number. I called him. Or I sent him my number, no matter. Anyway, so I get him on the phone, and I go, hey, dude, I didn't mean to send that to you. I thought you were my friend. Here's the movie. Here's the scenario. Here's the disturbing scene with these two dogs. These two dogs. We were talking about how messed up that was, and then we got shut down, and I thought maybe it's because we used the R word on YouTube. Maybe they shut us down, and then I thought you were Curtis and didn't understand what I was trying to say, so I said doggy R to you, and the guy was laughing. He's like, man, I thought that was some kind of like podcaster term that I'd never heard of, and you were speaking like podcaster terms. He's like, I just Googled doggy R, and I go, dude, you gotta get a new phone. You gotta throw that thing away. Your search history and cookies are ruined. But I don't think you could even erase that. I think you're on a list somewhere now for doing a search for that. You gotta get rid of that phone. And so yeah, we laughed about that, and then I talked to him for a little bit. Guys wanting to do a hip hop podcast, so maybe I'll help him with that. But maybe he's completely freaked out because I just said doggy R to him. But wow, what a weird!
I'm not down with that, man. I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
To the horror, like the amount of horrified I was just to realize I texted something inappropriate like that to a complete stranger who does not know me, who's calling me for business. They want me to record them, and I was like, oh my God,
I'm professional.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Yes. I'm sure there's a Yelp review of me for that. So holy smokes, what a mess. It was hilarious. And I kept trying to tell that story, and that the R word is so shocking. You can hardly tell this story without people getting like uncomfortable anyway. So it's like, I can only talk to a couple of people about this and have them really understand how hilarious it is, because it is funny. But yeah, so hopefully 1 or 5 of you got a kick out of that out there. And if not, whatever, Curtis knows I'll be all right. Yeah. So yeah, it was terrifying. And I'm like, Jesus, Curtis, put 2 and 2 together. How do you not see the context clues? We just went through this last night. Like, it's not like I'm speaking. It's not like it's 2 weeks later and you had time to forget. This was like hours ago. How do you not remember? And then I was like, oh, I'm the dummy. I was like, I'm the one. Oh, no. Yeah, I guess I'm going to sleep with my glasses on. All right.
Nowhere to go. Thank you, Bobby. That's right. Nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So,
and what's funny too is like we're having this conversation about how we can't say it. It's something that we don't really want to talk to other people about. Blah blah blah. And yet, in '97 or whatever that movie was, somebody was like, "You know what scene we should make?"
You know what would be
Like,
hilarious?
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, we're like, that's not cool. And they're like, somebody was like, I got it. Like,
Not with people, but if it's dogs, I mean, it's hilarious if it's dogs. Like, no, dude, that's not okay.
still not cool.
It is funny that somebody thought that. Oh,
Yeah.
oh boy. All right. Well.
What else you been watching?
Oh man, I saw those movies and
Oh yeah, you
shows.
in the theater. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been watching Mandalorian. Despite reviews, I've enjoyed it.
I had no idea it was on already. I thought it was starting in April. I didn't know it was on.
Yeah, we're like 3 or 4 episodes in. The thing about it is people are saying this is the least favorite like season, and ratings have been crappy and all that. But this whole time they're like, oh, this is the Mandalorian. They're not even showing the Mandalorian. They're going off on all these other things, and so now they're showing Mandalorians and Mandalorian culture and things, and it's been cool. Like I this last episode's a little campy, but I've enjoyed it, and like there's something about these shows that is much like Mayberry. You know what I mean? Like old timey black and white. You know, my mom watches these like Bonanza and a lot of these old shows, the Rifleman and stuff that take place on a set, and there's like, oh, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, and there's some scenario always happens, and we're like, oh, these strangers came into town and this blah blah blah, and then something happens and one guy is in trouble. He's being chased by some bad men and who had a mix up and blah blah blah, and then the Mandalorian saves the day and helps him out of the situation. And this series has kind of had that. And this last episode of the Mandalorian, like a kid got snatched by a essentially a pterodactyl or dragon creature, and so they're like, oh no, and so then they got to go rescue the kid, and that's basically what the episode's about. And you know, it could have happened in Gunsmoke, you know what I mean, where something happens and somebody gets kidnapped, and then they got to get the sheriff, and then they all go off and get the kid back or whatever. And anyway, it is what it is. They're short episodes. This last one was 25 minutes without credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a short episode. So these are
new. That's new, isn't it? They're usually about an hour long, right?
No, Andor is like an hour long. These Mandalorian episodes are like short 25, long 35. They're right in there, about half-hour episodes. And so, you know, I feel like this one was a filler episode because it was so short. But it's fine. We moved up. It built up Bo-Katan a little bit of how they respect. She's earning their respect, and I thought it was cool. It's fine. It is what it is. It's fine. But people are really hating on some of the new Mandalorian episodes. I think they're fun, and I like seeing jetpacks and cool weapons and stuff, and Grogu. So.
Heck yeah.
You haven't seen any of the Mandalorian new season?
3. Yeah, I thought for some reason I was thinking it was starting in April. I don't know
since
why.
they're short episodes, you're in for a treat because you can catch up real fast, and also not having to wait for all of those might digest well. You know what I mean? You might get them all and feel like, hey, I don't know what they're talking about. I feel satisfied. You know?
Because some things do work better in a binge, and that's how I watch The Mandalorian. Because you remember I was way behind on it. I hadn't seen any, or I'd watched like the first 3 episodes and then didn't really keep up, and then binged it, and it was awesome. So, yeah, I'm gonna catch up on that probably this weekend.
Yeah. My mom watches all of those.
Mark. Mark was always getting kidnapped or lost. I watch on Netflix. I'd highly recommend the Waco. It's a documentary series.
Oh yeah, about David Koresh.
Yeah, it was really good because, I mean, you know, we grew up and, you know, we're teenagers or whatever at the time, you know, and we were aware of it. I don't know about you, but I was aware of it, but it wasn't really.
I was 39. Just kidding. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, like how aware of it you were, like, um, I was aware of it, but I didn't like stay glued to the TV or anything. I was like, oh, that crazy guy, whatever. But it's amazing watching this documentary series because it goes through. It's got tons of unreleased stuff, of course, like always, but like how like ingrained their beliefs were and all of this stuff. But and like it was their fault. It was the Branch Davidians' fault that it all went down. But like how much the government screwed this thing up. Like it was like they like over and over they just screwed up. Like, and these are supposed to be smart, important people making decisions, and they just screwed the pooch. Just time. Well, never mind. I don't want to talk about that anymore. But like,
spoiler alert. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
Sorry. But it's I highly recommend it. That guy probably tuned into the show right at that point and was like, "Yeah, let me check out what this guy's all about." Never mind.
Yes, that Waco show's on Netflix, Bobby.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, and it's 3 1-hour episodes, pretty much. So it's you can binge it or
cool.
Take your time with it. It's great. And I did see that Riley's asking about the new Agent Elvis series with Matthew McConaughey. I did see it, but I haven't watched it yet. Yeah,
I pushed play, and then something squirrel happened. Like I ended up leaving the house or something. I had to leave the house, but I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And then and I never got back to it, but I need to check it out.
Yeah, I
looked cool.
I saw the trailer. Yeah, I saw the trailer, and I plan on checking it out soon. So I will let you know. With the guy from Battleship? No, he wasn't in Waco.
Is he in Elvis?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. What else have I been watching? I've been watching Mayor of Kingstown. That show is fantastic. It's fantastic. Mayor of Kingstown, and this last season was fantastic. That's Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really good.
I haven't seen that. I heard that Yellow Jackets is apparently very good, but I don't have Showtime, so
I've heard the same thing. I've heard that's fantastic. I also heard there's a show on Apple TV called Shrinking or something about being tiny with Harrison Ford and somebody else. I can't remember, but it's supposed to be a really good series.
Bobby says she watched The Whale and Megan. I haven't seen either. I want to see both.
Megan was really fun.
Yeah, my son wants to see that because he's seen Chucky, the first one, and I don't know if we watched the second one, but not like Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky, the ones where they go crazy. But we watched the first one together around Halloween, and then one of his friends had seen Megan, and she was pretending to be Megan, so he was saying he wanted to watch it. I was like, no, I gotta watch it first. But
it's not terrible.
Yeah, most people say
it's not terribly scary. It's not. It's just it's more that she's creepy because she's lifelike. So it's this weird uncanny valley thing that creeps people out. That where you like something that looks real, but there's something wrong with it, so it doesn't look real. She looks like a real person, but also looks like she's not a real person, so it just kind of like it's creepy. Especially, and we all saw that little dance she did in the hallway at one point that they like. That was only for a second that happens in that movie, but there's a lot of other weird stuff that happens, and ultimately, the AI that's in that doll, its main objective is to protect the little girl. So
it takes it to the extreme.
takes it to the extreme. So if you're like, and if you have a disturbed little girl because her parents just died, and you're like, and you're like, no, hun, you need to go to your room. Her aunt adopts this little girl, and she's like, I don't want to go to my room. She's like, Cassie, I'm not going to tell you again. You need to go to your room right now. And then all of a sudden, Megan's like, You know what I mean? Like it all of a sudden it's like, uh,
Oh god.
and you know, and the aunt created the doll, so she's got like word protocols to turn it to shut her down and things like that. But it starts getting the AI gets smarter and it turns into a crazy movie. So it's just funny because
All right.
the main programming of this doll is to look out for the little girl. That's even if adult people and stuff are start to chew out the the little girl. So it makes it a fun movie.
Then, dude, what? Like, they need to hurry up, and make a sequel or something, because that makes it a perfect setup for Megan versus Chucky. Like, Chucky attacks the kid, and Megan's protocol kicks in, and she has to fight Chucky. Like, there you
Yes,
go. Like,
Megan versus Chucky.
the
What are we
movie's
waiting
made.
for? What are we waiting for?
Um. Oh, Megan doesn't become psycho.
Megan doesn't become psycho?
No, well, Bobby's saying, but didn't become psycho. So is
Yeah,
oh,
it's
I
just
guess I guess the one that protecting the girl against Chucky wouldn't become psycho.
yeah, but it's to a fault, and then it starts wanting to. It's just becomes sentient, and it's like it starts even like overriding its own protocols and things. You know what I mean? It's so it's just funny, but
Well,
you know, and then when your aunt is like, "No more Megan tonight. You're grounded. No more Megan tonight." No, but I want to hang out with Megan. No, you need to go to bed without her. And then all of a sudden, Megan's like, you know, and you're like, uh-oh. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. It gave me that feeling of going over to my friend's house and where we would watch 80s horror movies. We'd watch,
yeah,
Phantasm, or we'd go over and spend the night and watch whatever, you know what I mean? Like a Halloween or and Nightmare on Elm Street and all those as kids. And look, the that movie needs to be on a VHS tape. You know what I mean? It just has that feel. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. And I wouldn't call it a horror movie. I would call it a slasher film. It's even slashers even scarier. It's not scary. It's more suspenseful is the deal with that movie.
Thriller.
It's a thriller. Yeah, it's more of a thriller.
I also watched. So I got the DVD of Nail Gun Massacre. So
nice.
There you go. It's pretty interesting. It's a movie from a dude in Texas who decided to make a horror movie, and it's kind of amazing actually. So it's kind of amazing. You can watch it, and it's obviously got zero budget. The actors are they got them from like the college or something. They're not that great. A lot of nudity, but it's like it's a crappy B horror movie, or not even B, but it's still, you can see the heart, you can see like it's still a decent movie. The sound's not great, stuff like that. And what bothers me is, so I also got if you haven't seen this one's great. It was one of Tobe Hooper's last films, but the Toolbox Murders. And in my opinion, this is a really good movie. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's Tobe Hooper directed. I don't know if he wrote and directed, but
is this along the lines of like Thanksgiving?
No. I mean, well, like Nail Gun Massacre is not supposed to be along those lines, but it kind of is. Like, it's Thanksgiving was doing it on purpose. Nail Gun Massacre is one of those movies that's not doing it on purpose. But that's what I mean. You can see the heart in that movie. And then Toolbox Murders is, it's I don't know if it went to theaters, but it should have. It's a very good movie by Tobe Hooper. It's like a slasher movie, but it's got a mystery and like some mysticism, and like it's made in this hotel, and the hotel's like part of like a character in the film. And I was really excited. I'd seen it before. I enjoyed it. And then I realized they made a sequel called The Toolbox Murders 2. And this is the biggest piece of shit. Like, and it makes me so mad because it had amazing effects. You can tell it had a big budget and stuff like that. And Nail Gun Massacre is a better movie than Toolbox Murders 2. Like, it's such a letdown. I mean, anyway, you saw
Bobby
it's
saw
good.
Toolbox.
The first one I think is very good. it's got a lot going on than just like a slasher movie. And the ladies, like, they don't know if they think everybody thinks the lady's going crazy, and she's kind of figuring it out, and it's a very good movie. The second one is just, and the second one's free on YouTube, Bobby. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's just,
Dude, you definitely got to go out and see John Wick 4 when you get a second. Like, it was really good. And Scott Adkins is in it, and he's badass.
Whoa.
He's
Really?
Yeah, but he's like, he's a big dude. Like, they've got fat guy makeup on him.
Oh, really?
But he's still doing like fights. But
That
just
sounds awesome.
just think of a fucking 400 pound
Brendan Fraser, be like,
yeah, like, but doing moves. This guy's like, he's a crazy character, and he's got a grill on, and he's like, keeps coming back, and his facial expressions are awesome. Like, I didn't even realize it was him. I was watching watching another podcast, and they said, I was like, that was that was Boyka. I didn't even realize it was him. Like, I didn't under the makeup, but you, like, once you say that, you're like, oh yeah, because he does make crazy faces. Yeah, he's really good.
yeah, I might try to, now that I know it's out. I haven't been keeping up with my stuff, but yeah, I might try to see it Sunday, maybe. Maybe watch 2 and 3 tomorrow again. And
Uzi, what's up? Yeah, anybody watching The Swarm?
I was gonna ask. I saw that. I saw the trailer, but I can't tell what it's about. Uzi, like, what's it? Is it a? They kind of make it seem like it's horror-ish, or what's going on there. But it didn't look. I don't know. It's got a tone to it. Give us more info. I have not been watching it, but yeah, it's got my interest. So let me know.
I've been watching a food movie called Swarma. Just kidding.
Hey-o! I watched Miyuki. It's an independent film. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Like, it's an independent film that you could tell really could have been better, but if it had more money, but then at the same time too, if it wasn't trying to be so indie, you know, and they're like, we're an independent film, so let's be super indie. It's like, don't do that. Like, so, I mean,
like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
No, but they pulled it off. You know,
like Garden State.
I don't know if Garden State pulled it off.
Dude, I've been seeing.
Is that the Zach Braff movie?
Yeah, I've been seeing some hate online for that movie. I'm like, I loved that movie.
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but it was. I mean, anything with Zach Braff, I got a little man crush on him. I'll admit it. Like,
yeah, he's cool.
I love Scrubs. Scrubs is probably the most underrated sitcom out there. Did you ever watch Scrubs?
It's pretty damn good. Yeah.
I love that show.
Shout out for Scrubs. Where my Scrubs people at?
Where my Scrubs at? Over here.
Yeah, that's been it. I haven't been watching a whole lot of stuff. I've been keeping up with Bad Batch. Slowly, Picard is season 3 has been, or season 3, yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been really good.
I haven't watched any of them. What's it on?
It's on Paramount with the Paramount Plus with all the Star Trek stuff.
Apparently Paramount's kind of killing it. Like,
they happen
streaming wise, yeah. They came out of the box. Kathy, you have never seen Scrubs? Oh my god!
You remember when you guys were friends back in the old days before you admitted that you had never seen Scrubs? I remember those days.
Is there a way you can block somebody from chat? Because we need to figure that out.
How do we? First we got to. Let's see.
I saw that Mel's got a crush on Bill Hader. I can understand that one. I can understand that.
His fans are called haters.
Hey, yeah. Are you a hater?
They drink haterade.
They do. Oh, dude, he should make that. HADER. He should totally make that.
Yeah, haterade. It's hilarious. Don't you dare. Don't you dare block me.
Yeah. It's
I will
like
come back, kill you in your sleep.
It was streaming on like every platform. Like, jump up on it. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Scrubs is good. Ooh. Scrubs is good if you like comedy.
Yeah. If you like laughing and emotion.
Have you watched Ted Lasso yet?
I haven't. That's on Apple TV?
Yep.
Yeah, see, I don't have that one either. I had it, and then I had it whenever there was nothing worth watching on it. I had it for like that year, and then now they're starting to put good stuff out.
White Horses is really good. It's on there. Or is it? No, it's Slow Horses. It's a Gary Oldman series. It's about MI6 or MI5. It's really good. Very good show.
I'll catch up on those. They're going to be releasing this year, I think. Either this year or the beginning of next year. Godzilla, the MonsterVerse TV show. So once they actually do that, they've been talking about it for a while now. Once they do that, I'll get TV and I'll catch up on that stuff.
You got to, and it's pretty cheap considering.
Well, I had it free for that first year, and then it was like there was nothing on there. And I was
of course,
like,
that's why it was free.
And then once they were going to charge me, I was like, you don't have anything. And then they started putting good shows out. You Apple. So, do you want to talk about some possible matchups in the future?
Yeah. Let's talk about some possible matchups in the future. Yawns. Why am I yawning? Okay. Let's see. Anybody got any ideas of movies we can match up in the future? Possible matchups. But before we do that, I've got to play.
My ding-a-ling.
What is this? Big ears had first, I did. That was a weird sample. I have some weird stuff in here. Oh man, we just got the season. Oh, I know what these are. Okay. How about oh yeah, here's the Star Wars intro that I did. But this isn't the Imperial March. This is the other one. Played with the mouth trumpet. Yep, mouth trumpet.
Very, very, very good. Did you do that with GarageBand or what? Special software?
I have recording software. I use Logic.
Oh. La-di-da.
Yeah, I mean, I record records in my studio. Although you could do. Ooh, look at me! Do I use Fisher Price, my first recording equipment or recording software? GarageBand? No. Have I? Yes, I used to back in the day. I started with GarageBand, but then I went to Pro Tools, then I switched to Logic. Now I enjoy Logic. It's become second nature. What is this one? Paramount's global stock surges 15%. I have
we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Way to go, Past Clint.
Let's see what Past Clint had to say about this. Paramount's global stock surges 15% Tuesday after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway buys in. Buffett often looks for value, investing in stocks he likes during a downturn like the one we've seen recently. Wow. Its first quarter 2022 results saw subscriber gains at its flagship streaming services Paramount Plus and Pluto, topping expectations. Paramount said it reached 62 million total streaming subscribers for the first quarter, almost 40 million of that Paramount Plus. This comes to us from Deadline. Boring.
No, with that
Clankies.
It was right. Yeah, they're killing it, and I didn't know they own Pluto as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Oh, that's my Wolverine sound.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is a fun one.
Yeah, it is.
Flash, savior of the universe.
Speaking of epic themes,
That is one.
He will save every one of us.
Yeah, that was good. And there's the response after that. You want me to do that again? I'll play it again. Speaking of Thor. All right, I'm done playing with my toys. So, what movies?
no, I
Everybody knows when you hear this horn.
Clint's like, no, I use the professional recording software to make these silly clips.
To make these sounds. And guys, you know what time it is. When you hear this horn, it's time to suggest some matchups. That's what we do when we hear. So let's suggest some matchups. What are some matchups we should do for some movie matchups?
Well, we've got Easter coming up. I was trying to think of something versus Critters 2. Critters 2 is an Easter movie. We could do Peter Rottentail, which is a fucking terrible movie. But so Critters 2 is going to win. Let's see.
Critters
2 is good.
versus The Passion. Oh boy.
The Passion is more gruesome than Critters.
Yeah, it's bad. So excluding holidays, you know, I know you're in teacher mode. Like what color contact paper to put over the bulletin boards because it's April?
No, more like, when's my next day off going to be? Okay, Easter's coming. All right. Okay, but so we were talking about and a while back we talked about Commando versus Taken.
That wasn't a dig, by the way, because I appreciate that, because I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about Christmas. Let's do some Christmas movies. Like that always helps solve the problem. But you were saying, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just saying in the past we've talked about Commando versus Taken, 2 movies where the daughter gets kidnapped and they got to go get him back. We talked about Running Man versus Gamer, 2 game of death movies.
Oh yeah, Running Man. And who's in Gamer?
Gerard Butler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't know if I've seen that. I haven't seen Gamer. Obviously, I've seen Running Man. And literally the other day when I texted you, I was like, just thinking, I want to watch Running Man again. So I was like, let me think of something that can go.
Yeah. How can I make this investment of time worth my while?
I want to watch it now, but I'll save it. But with you know what? When does Mario come out? It comes out in a couple weeks, right? We can do 2 old school video game movies. We could do Super Mario versus the original Super Mario, with Hoskins
the new versus the old, one with John Leguizamo.
We could do Leguizamo and Hoskins versus Double Dragon, the movie. Have you seen that?
Ooh,
Turd Bucket.
I think it's got Scott. Is it Scott Wolf? Is that his name? He played Bailey on Party of Five. If you remember that show, he's one of the guys. God, Police Academy versus Super Troopers. That's not bad. Yeah, write that down. Double Dragon versus that's just trying to kill, like.
Or we could do the original Super Mario versus the original or the Resident Evil. I'm trying to think of older video game movies. We could pick any video game movie, really. But
Pac-Man the movie. Pong in the movie.
It's coming. I promise. Once they take off, it's gonna be like two sides, and it's gonna be a rectangle going, I have to keep this block out of my side. The other one's gonna be like, I will get it here. They make up some. They made the Emoji Movie, for God's sakes, man.
Snake the movie. Remember the snake that was on every Nokia phone? Yeah.
Yeah. The original Resident Evil. What's another? I mean, we could do it versus Sonic, because Mario versus Sonic has always been kind of a thing, but that wouldn't really be fair. I know that Double Dragon movie is pretty bad though, but the Mario movie's not great either. Last Starfighter versus War Games.
Ooh, those are good. And also, you remember Cloak and Dagger?
Yeah.
I really liked that movie as a kid.
Well, you know what we could do too? We talked about doing our movie theories a while back. There is a film theory that says that is a prequel to Fight Club, and the kid in that grows up to be Edward Norton in Fight Club.
Really?
Yeah.
See, Cloak and Dagger becomes Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden. And then what do we say? War Games.
Last Starfighter versus War Games.
Shall we play a game? That was a cool. That was technology that wasn't going to happen for 40 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like
well, and they just had Stephen Hawking do voiceover work. Hi-yo!
The modems were so old, they were handheld phone like receivers, and that sit on the thing with like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Super crazy. Okay, what about sci-fi movies?
I have been wanting to watch a good sci-fi movie again. I rewatched Pandorum. It was still good.
What's the Starship Troopers? Did you ever see that?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Sci-fi, and then okay, what about what about heist movies?
That'd be good.
You'd have to do Ocean's 11.
Mm-hmm. Ocean's 11 versus what's the one with Denzel and Clive Owen?
I don't know, but I have the history of human information at the at my. Isn't Hackers a heist movie too?
I don't know. I don't know if I've seen Hackers. Sounds like a movie about hacking, but
I think they hack in to break into places. Movie. Heist. Oh yeah, there's a movie called The Heist. That's an easy one. Inside Man.
Inside, that's a good one. But Ocean's 11 is kind of we could do Ocean's 11 the original versus the remake. But I don't know. Heat, isn't Heat a heist movie? Aren't they robbing a bank? I haven't seen Heat in forever.
I haven't seen Heat in forever either. Let's see here. Inside Man is a 2006 crime thriller film directed by Spike Lee and written by Russell Gewirtz. It centers on an elaborate bank heist on Wall Street over a 24-hour period. The film stars Denzel Washington, and the hostage negotiator is Clive Owen.
Oh, go ahead.
Dalton Russell, the mastermind who orchestrates this. Jodie Foster is in it. Power broker who becomes involved. Blah 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 blah. Christopher Plummer to keep yeah, this is a good movie. I can already.
It is, but Ocean's 11 versus Quick Change, dude. There you go. Done.
What's Quick Change?
With Bill Murray and Randy Quaid and Gina Davis. You haven't seen that? Yeah, you've probably seen it, but it's great. He was an animal. He was an animal. Mad Money. I haven't seen Mad Money. Bobby's saying there's a movie called Mad Money where it's basically Ocean's 11 with girls. I think I know what you're talking about, though. Was that the one with Melissa McCarthy and stuff? Wow.
And it had Sandra. Is this the one with Sandra Bullock? And it had Aquafina, I think's in it. When did this? Oh, 1990. This is an old one. Three thieves successfully rob a New York City bank, but making the escape from the city proves to be almost impossible.
It's hilarious. If you have, just watch it for fun. If we're not going to do it, because that's a great movie.
It's a good movie. Have you ever seen
Diane Keaton, Queen Latifah, Katie Holmes? I know. I remember this. The Mad Money I'm talking about right now. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen a Kingpin with Randy Quaid and Woody Harrelson? That movie's a funny bowling movie.
Got some fresh milk. Fresh milk from the cow. We don't have a cow. We have a bull. I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
You could do that one versus Happy Gilmore because they both have a wooden hand.
Yeah,
they both have a fake hand,
and they're both. You're both taking guys from obscurity to make them sports stars. That's
yeah.
a good one. Kingpin versus Gilmore. I like it.
Versus Happy Gilmore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's a Ocean's 8 is one with Sandy.
I don't know what that means.
Sandra Bullock. It's a more recent one that had Aquafina and Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
I saw it in the theater. I wasn't really that fond of that one, but I don't remember Mad Money.
Yeah, I remember the trailer. It looked good.
There's one with J-Lo and Cardi B where they're strippers and they do a heist.
You've got me. Well, what about the one I'm thinking with Melissa McCarthy and these two other ladies, and they're like they take over and it's based on a true story. Like they take over the Irish mafia, basically, like over from their husbands or something. I guess again, maybe I could just get some evil eyes and then no, but
use the internet.
Yeah, the interwebs. The internet is on my side. Melissa McCarthy. Mob movie. Kitchen 2019 film. There you go. Hell's Kitchen 1978. As three housewives see their mobster husband sent to prison, they take over the mob. It looked good, but that's I guess that's not really a heist. It's a mafia movie, but it looked good.
Mafia movies are fun too. We never did like Casino or what's the other one? Goodfellas.
Well, we could start we could do Oceans versus Mad Money, and like once a month do Boys versus Girls, because I wanted to do Big versus 13 Going on 30, because they're both people that grow up, or children. I guess we could do Shazam versus Big, actually, but no, that's a little different. But
dude, there are so many. There's the Trading Places. There's one that's got Fred Savage and
well, that's like where they switch. In Big, remember, he just grows up. He was like, I wish I was grown. I wish I was big, and so he just grows up. Yeah.
They had
yeah,
they had several of those switching places. They also had one with Eddie Murphy switches places.
Trading Place. Yeah,
Trading places. Yeah.
that's a good one. That's Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Casino versus Carlito's Way. I used to like Carlito's Way.
Carlito's Way was good, and there was yeah, Goodfellas is another great movie.
Yeah.
You might. Casino is one that too that's just like, wow, man.
I can't remember. Casino's, I want to say my least favorite, but probably because I've seen it the least. I loved Goodfellas.
Heat.
Yeah,
is,
Al Pacino's Carlito's Way. Yeah.
Let's see.
And I like the one. What's the one with? Is it the Untouchables where? What's his name? Costner plays the famous guy who brought down the mob. Ooh, yeah, Drop Dead Fred versus something. So, what's another imaginary friend movie? I would love to do Drop Dead Fred. Uzi, think of another movie where somebody's dealing with their imaginary friend. Can you find Drop Dead Fred anymore?
What? Who? There's a movie called Imaginary Friend. Who the hell's in this?
That's Drop Dead Fred. Drop Dead Fred is free on Tubi.
Yeah, this looks like trash.
So sometimes whenever you type in, because I do this a lot whenever we're thinking about stuff. But if you type in movies like blah, sometimes it's like nails it. And you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that movie? And
Yeah.
then other times it's like, what the hell are you talking about, internet? What is wrong with you?
There's Drop Dead Fred. Magic. Well, Fight Club.
True.
A
True.
beautiful
You're
beautiful
absolutely
mind. Dark
Yeah.
Water. Opal Dream. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Fight Club is honestly the best, closest match.
We could do it. Imaginary Friend.
Fight Club's gonna win though. I love Drop Dead Fred, but Fight Club's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Let's see here.
And I say we save it for the Cloak and Dagger, and not versus Fight Club, but is it? The theory is that it's the prequel to Fight Club. That this is the same guy. Does it make sense? Kind of go down that road. New comment.
Hold on, I'm going down a. Oh, you got True Romance. He's got the Elvis is his imaginary friend in the
True.
bathrooms,
That's true.
played by Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Fred, 1991. Drop Dead Fred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could do something for 420 Half Baked versus next Friday. She says, I say we could do Half Baked versus one of the Cheech and Chong movies. Or I haven't seen Cheech and Chong in forever. Little Monster, yeah, it's got it on there. Little Monster is, I guess the little monsters could be imaginary friends, but I thought he goes into real monster worlds.
Did you ever see? Was it Tully or Tully with Charlize Theron?
Tully. Wait a minute. No.
Beautiful Mind. The Shining.
Sadly, yeah, kind of. Jojo Rabbit
Oh, that's
is
one. That's an imaginary friend, right?
it totally is.
Is
yeah,
it imaginary or is it a real friend?
No, he imagines Hitler's his best friend. Remember?
I didn't see that movie. I never got to see that movie.
Oh, that's a great movie.
I've heard. I've been wanting to see it.
Okay, you want to do that? I think that would actually be good because it's Taika Waititi. So the comedy is going to kind of it's a serious. Jojo Rabbit's like a serious film, but it's a Taika Waititi film. So it's they're never serious.
Mhm.
But he actually he bridges the gap.
Yeah, I've heard it's fantastic. Let's do that. Let's do it. I never got to see that movie, and I wanted to.
Drop Dead versus Jojo Rabbit.
All right. Oh, Donnie Darko.
Yeah, but didn't we already do Donnie Darko?
Nope. Fight Club. And that's good enough. We'll stick with Jojo Rabbit because again, I haven't seen it. So let's and it's one that's on my list where I'm like, how have I not seen that one yet?
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. So we've got Police Academy versus Super Troopers. We've got Last Fighter versus War Games. We've got potentially the Cloak and Dagger prequel to Fight Club theme thing or fan theory thing. Kingpin versus Happy Gilmore. Drop Dead Fred versus Jojo Rabbit. We could do that one for Easter. Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, there you go.
Boom. Encino Man versus Son-in-Law. I don't think I could take that much Pauly Shore. Encino Man versus Iceman. Didn't we talk about that one in the past?
Oh, yeah.
We both want to rewatch Iceman.
Yeah, I haven't seen that since I was like a toddler.
Yeah, I love that movie. Or, well, I did. Again, I haven't seen it since probably like 86 or something.
Have you ever seen the Pirate movie? That was another one I used to watch when I was a little kid.
What's it just called? Pirate?
It was called The Pirate Movie, and they had a spoof of the Pirates of Penzance song, where they're like, "I am a major model of a modern major general," or whatever. I don't remember the song. Anyway, we don't need to watch that.
I am
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah, I had the guy who plays Nigel from I think from like the Blue Lagoon. I think he was in it, and then I can't remember her name, but it was called the Pirate Movie. We don't need to watch that movie.
No. I don't know, but I wrote Encino Man versus Iceman down. I'm digging it.
There's some old fun fantasy stuff too, like Labyrinth, like The Neverending Story, like the OG Dark Crystal. I don't remember that one anymore.
Yeah.
There's another Labyrinth, Neverending Story.
Beastmaster. I love the Beastmaster.
Oh, Beastmaster was awesome. Legend with Tom Cruise was good. And there's one called Time Bandits. Did you ever see that when I was a kid?
Yeah.
That was one that I was like, whoa. Ooh, dude, Heathers was a good one.
I think we could do Willow.
We did Willow.
No, we were talking about it, but they remember the show sucked, so we were like, we don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Or they were like, we were gonna do it for
we covered it on the other show, I think, or something.
Yeah. Labyrinth is incredible. Yeah. Still waiting on the Willow. Yeah, I think if we did Willow versus Legend would be a good matchup. And I think Neverending Story versus Labyrinth would be a good matchup.
Is it with like full core and the dragon and all that?
Yeah. Artax, stupid horse. I still cry. I watch it with my kids on Netflix.
I don't remember that movie anymore.
Oh my! When his horse dies in the swamp of sadness. Move, Artax.
Well, now I don't need to watch it.
Oh God. You're not crying yet, so you do. But
Matt
you're gonna cry.
Monaghan.
You're gonna cry.
Yeah, we've got some good ones. We got Iceman versus Encino Man.
And what? So what did you just say? For fantasy, what did we say? Or did we say decide anything?
Legend versus something. What?
Those comments. Yeah. Yes, Uzi legend is with the giant red devil. Yeah. Giant codpiece.
That was Tim what's his name?
Tim Curry, yeah.
Tim Curry, yeah.
Pennywise himself also played that giant devil, also played, I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah.
We could do, so I was going to do it too. So since we're just hanging here, I've been wanting to do stuff on my own channel. Like I want to do some Bakertown stuff, but the kids are like, I don't do anything right now. So I'm like, okay. So I've made another channel that I haven't really put anything on, but I've been wanting to do some movie reviews. Okay. And so we're sitting here, we're talking about movies, it's easy. It's fine. It's fun. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to make one, and I was going to put it out for Patty's. I was going to cover Leprechaun. I watch these people do movie reviews. I talk about movies all the time. I recorded this thing, and it was the most boring piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. It was so terrible.
Your movie review?
Yeah, I was like, so then they did some stuff, and this was a good movie. It was just garbage. And I don't know, I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know. And so that's the thing too. So I want to do some stuff and talk about franchises and like where they went wrong and this and that and the other. I probably just didn't put enough planning. I watched the freaking movie and started talking about, and then kind of did 50 takes. So I probably didn't actually plan it and do enough, but it was terrible. But we could start doing original versus remake. I haven't seen it, but I got it because it was cheap. The remake of RoboCop. It's not going to win.
It was good.
But I mean, it can't beat the original.
No, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna check it out after I rewatch. But see, that's the thing. I'm gonna rewatch RoboCop 1, 2, and 3, and this is just what I do too. That's why I kind of want to record it. If I do that, I just do this crap anyway. But I know 3 is bad, even though it was directed by Frank Miller, the Sin City guy. Or no, written by him. I know that 3 is bad. I can't remember. I remember 2 being okay, but you wanted more of Ed 209. And so I'm going to rewatch that. So it's not going to beat 1, but I wonder if it's going to beat the other.
I've got a matchup for that. We could do the Total Recall remake versus
RoboCop remake.
RoboCop remake. It's a Total Recall is Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
And that one wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're not going to be the originals, dude.
I know, but yeah, I'm very interested in that because that's going to be the only reason I'm going to watch that. Like, don't remake an Arnold movie, and don't do it. Or honestly, or if they do, because that's the thing. Total Recall was based on a book. Or at least a story or something like that. So make it more towards that. Running Man, I was thinking whenever I was wanting to rewatch Running Man, it was based on a Stephen King book that's amazing if you haven't read it. But it's completely different from the movie, or in a lot of ways, very different from the movie. And so you could make The Running Man, but it's more like the Stephen King novel, and you're not having to try to upstage Arnold. It's not going to happen. But if you just remade the movie The Running Man, you're wasting your time. Arnold makes both remakes lose. You're not going to beat Arnie.
I'm excited for the Penguin series. It's gonna with Colin Farrell. He was so good as a penguin in the last.
I still haven't.
You haven't seen that
Yeah,
Batman yet?
I still haven't watched. I don't have 3 hours to sit down and watch a movie.
Dude, it's fantastic. It's really good.
Every movie that I've named that I've watched this week is like an hour and a half. Like,
Dude, you gotta
about
watch
what
it.
I've got.
Major League is a great movie.
Bull Durham. But Major League's a comedy. Bull Durham, isn't that serious?
I think so.
I don't know. Bull Durham. I was thinking we could do so for Creed 3 a while back. I was thinking we could do like, you know, some kind of Rocky thing. But did you ever see Grudge Match? So after Rocky Balboa, a movie came out where and we were talking about De Niro. We talked about it during the De Niro thing.
Oh, yeah.
Rocky Stallone versus De Niro in a boxing match. It's actually a pretty good movie from what I remember. But I don't know what we'd put up against it.
I don't know. But I never got to see that movie, but I remember it.
It's pretty good. Have you ever seen Wild? What's one of the worst fucking movies you've ever seen? Like one of the worst. Like,
the only movie that I've ever walked out of the theater, besides John Wick 4 last night, the only movie that I've ever walked out of the theater is Oscar, which has got.
But your dad made you, right?
Well, me and my dad were both.
You're on the same page.
Yeah, we were like, you know, when Beavis and Butthead are looking at and they're like,
I liked Oscar.
and we just me and my dad looked at each other and we're like, and my dad's like, you want to get the fuck out of here? And he said it just like that. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. So we walked out and walked into the theater next door, and it was The Perfect Weapon, and we got to watch The Perfect Weapon. We didn't even know. That's any movie would look like the worst movie ever if you walked into The Perfect Weapon. And it was an accident. It was like the universe wanted us to see the other movie because we walked out and we're like, Dad, it's just starting. So we went and sat down and watched that. It was great.
Okay. So have you ever seen Wild Hogs?
No.
With that's gotta be one of the worst. Such a piece of crap movie.
That reminds me of that movie with Billy Crystal and Jack Palance where they go off to the ranch, City Slickers. Yeah, City Slickers. Yeah. Like Wild Hogs is that like a biker version of like City Slickers kind of?
No, it's.
I don't know what Wild Hogs is about.
It's Travolta. Who is it? It's Tim the Toolman Taylor, and like all these old actors. Like, we still got it. Let's go on a bike ride or some crap like that. And then Ray Liotta's it. That's got to be the biggest piece of crap. I was on a plane and I was like, oh my god, this movie. I can't. Like, it was just so painful.
Yeah, that's like City Slickers, but it's like a motorcycle version.
But City Slickers was good. Like, this was so we could do Oscar versus City Slickers.
Oh God, Oscar?
No, not City Slickers versus Wild Hogs. I don't want to watch Wild Hogs again.
I don't want to watch Oscar again. I don't want to.
Oscar's not as bad
fuck as that. I'd rather watch Rhinestone than with Dolly Parton.
Oscar versus Rhinestone.
No, I don't want Oscar versus anything. I don't ever want to watch for Oscar.
Isn't Marissa Tomei his daughter?
No, it's Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis.
Pretty sure. Now I have to look it up. Damn it. I'm going to get dumber just reading this.
William H. Macy, Travolta and Tim Allen. And then it's got Ray Liotta as the bad guy, Wild Hog. God, it was so bad. Like, I was just like amazed. Like, how can it be this bad?
I like how I searched Oscar movie and I've got like 1917, The Whale, Babylon, everything. I'm like, Oscar movie, you moron! You can't write Oscar movie and not have a bunch of Oscar movies. Which, by the way, there's some great movies to watch. What are we?
Yeah, why are we talking about watching bad movies?
Yeah, why don't we watch good movies? I never
So
did
yeah,
see.
of the go ahead.
I never did see Hacksaw Ridge with Nathan Garfield or with
I didn't either.
Andrew Garfield. Nathan Garfield's the guy I went to high school with. Uh, um, and then 1917 was another good. It was a war movie.
That one was good, but it's not a rewatch kind of movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was a very good movie, but yeah, I own it. Like I could watch it again, but it's
yeah.
just not. It's not one where
Hmm.
Right. That's what I mean. But that's what amazed me, Bobby. I was like, I love Travolta. I love William H Macy. I think Tim Allen is funny. Ray Liotta's in it, and so I wasn't like it wasn't like Wild Hog. Like I was kind of like, all right, this is gonna be pretty good. I wasn't expecting the world from it, but I was like, okay, I could see this being good. And the trailer, I think, from what I remember, looked decent. And I watched it on this plane. I'm like, how can this? That's what I mean. How can you have that kind of star power? And fair enough, Bobby. Fair enough. So yeah, of our Oscar pickers or Oscar winners,
I'm gonna read through some movies. Let's see here. We got. Okay.
we do an Oscar spectacular of who should have won or something like that.
Well, The Whale. I never got to see that. That's
No, Bobby watched it. How was it, Bobby? How was The Whale? I think it's on Prime now too. I think it's free on Prime.
Did you get to see everything everywhere all at once?
Yeah, we did that one.
That was a fun movie.
I watched it like 3 times first time I saw it.
The Arrival. Did you ever see that?
It's good. Did that win? I didn't realize that would win an Oscar.
This is just what came up for popular Oscar-winning movies. It could have been for effects or who knows what it was for. Hateful Eight.
I never got around to seeing that one because I heard it was just a bunch of talking. Which Tarantino can make a movie that is pretty much a bunch of talking and make it good, but I didn't hear great things.
Man, District 9. You ever see that movie?
Oh yeah,
that movie's fantastic.
I'm not as big on it as everybody else. I think Chappie's his better film. I love Chappie. I love Chappie. Oh come on. But I do. It is a good movie.
Parasite. Did you ever see that?
Yes, that's a very good movie. Have you not seen it? That anything by that director
is good.
Amazing. Yeah, his other movie, The Host. I've seen. Let me see it. But yeah, Parasite's very good. It's. They could do Parasite versus The People Under the Stairs.
Oh, geez. I don't know. I didn't. I don't know. I have nothing to say.
Just because once you see Parasite, you'll kind of understand, but it's not within that vein. But
ooh, I forgot about Training Day.
That won an Oscar? With Denzel and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. That.
Weird. Usually they don't pick movies like that.
Yeah, it's just a really good movie. Training Day, and then The Fighter with Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
Good movie. Yeah. And I'm seeing all these movies. I'm like, whoa. What's a movie with Michael Douglas when he freaks out? Falling Down.
Falling Down is a good movie.
Falling Down versus no, I just remembered it. Versus Training Day. Those are both movies that take place in the life of
somebody losing it.
Yeah.
George likes his chicken spicy. We could do. So you want to do some sci-fi? We could do District. Did District 9 win?
District 9, believe so. Let's see.
We could do District 9 versus The Arrival. You get some heavy hitters in there, but Falling Down. What would be good against I used to own it. I don't know if I still do, but that's a very good movie. I wanted to do, and we, I mean, I think we still could. So I wanted to do for a while. I wanted to do Pleasantville
Mm-hmm.
versus American Beauty because they came out about the same time. They kind of have that, like at that time, people were like, you know, going against modern culture and stuff. American Beauty's got to be so creepy now, but it's would definitely give us a lot to
Oh,
talk about.
American Beauty was really good.
Yeah, it was very good, but now looking back, like
Oh
the whole
yeah.
movie's about him trying to perv on a little girl, like, but like it'd give us a lot to talk about now.
As long as I
But
don't get any messages in the morning.
yeah, exactly.
The
This guy, what do you mean, Kevin Spacey's nutsack? What does that mean? Is that some kind of podcast term?
There was a Ed TV versus the Truman Show.
Yeah. We could do that. Yeah, Ed TV versus the Truman Show. I rewatched the Truman Show recently. It's very good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one in forever.
And they came out very close to one another. I haven't rewatched Ed TV though.
Hold on a second here. Oh, did you ever see Argo?
I did. But once I found out it's not really
Accurate?
I don't like when they take when
they
when
take liberties with
true stories. Yeah, I really don't like that. Like I understand like if it like the Perfect Storm, I think that won some awards. And I was like, this is such a good movie. And then it ends and I'm like, wait, they all died? And so all that shit on the boat was made up. They don't know about any of it. Like,
they don't know what happened.
They're all dead. Like the whole movie is them on the boat, and then besides the transmissions on the radio, everything else was made up. Like they're all dead. They don't know what the hell happened on that boat. They could have been like standing on the mast, like swinging their underwear for 2 hours. Like they don't know what happened. Like, yes, he did like boys, not girls. But in the movie, he's going after his teenage daughter's friend. So again, we'd have a lot to talk about with it.
Yeah. Did you ever? I don't have to listen to you ever. Like again, when he catches his wife cheating on him in the drive-through, I love that.
It's it's one of my favorite movies, or it was.
Blow? Did you ever see the Blow? Cocaine movie with Johnny Depp, Penelope Cruz? Blow's a 2001 American biographical crime film. That's just kind of what reminded me of it, but I don't know how much of it's true or if it's embellished or what. About an American cocaine kingpin and his international network. It was a really good movie when it came out.
I did not see it. Bobby says Open Water was like that for me. Was Open Water based on a true story? Open Water, yeah, I thought. What is? No, Open. Okay, I'm thinking of something. I'm thinking of 47 Meters Down. I haven't seen Open Water. I know what you're talking about, though, Bobby. I'm gonna have to watch it now. But
Deep Blue Sea was a fun movie.
Deep Blue Sea was awesome, and there was at least 3 of them. We'll wait for Shark Week, though. We gotta. Open Water. I did hear Open Water is good. Bobby says Blow is more accurate. Cool. Like, I know they got to change some things, I understand that, but apparently.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, apparently in Argo, that whole, the end of the movie where it's this dramatic runway chase, and they get away barely, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, that didn't happen. They just kind of got away. So it just worked.
There was
what could we do against Requiem versus a Dream, Mel? That would be yes. Talk to me, Mel. I want to rewatch Requiem.
There was a fun movie where the guy was smuggling drugs back and forth from like Colombia in a plane, like in a plane, and
Cocaine Bear.
no, but but they were. I can't think if it was George Clooney. Let's see here. It was kind of a period piece where like the same way. What the hell was that movie? Like it was like the 70s or early 80s. I'll try Smuggler movie. Oh, it's called American Made. Did you ever see that?
MADE?
Yeah, American Made. Like your
Never saw it.
boxers. Inspired. Yeah, that was a good movie. Who the hell's in it? Cast. Yeah, it was Tom Cruise. Yeah, that movie was crazy.
American. I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Well, cool. So what? So, Cube versus Saw. Yes, it needed to be in all caps. What's Cube?
Cube is awesome. Oh, Cube is awesome.
Saw. This is one of those gory movies.
Yeah, the first one's not so bad though. Like they go, if you haven't seen it or if you haven't seen it in a while,
I saw it in the
probably-
theater.
Yeah, but you might be thinking of the other one. The sequels are like just go to torture porn, but the first one's, I mean, not that bad. And Cube is a very good movie if you haven't seen it. It's got like a bunch of sequels too that aren't that great, but Cube versus Saw would be good. Mind game, death traps. Yeah.
It's a maze.
Yeah, it's
That was weird. I'm resuming the old. Curtis is gonna. There he is. Where is he? There he is. I don't know what happened, but we're back. We're resumed.
Did you get cut off too, or just me?
Yeah, no, we both did. The whole stream froze for a second. It was an internet issue.
Oh, okay.
That was the universe. It's telling me, dude, you got to go get dog food before the damn store closes.
All right, so we've got a good list.
Hi. So let's go over that list real fast, and then we're gonna shut her down because it's time.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll go like so we can pick for next week, and then we'll put out a calendar or something like that. What we locked in apparently is Police Academy versus Super Troopers, Last Starfighter versus War Games, potentially the Cloak and Dagger versus or Fight Club theme thing, Kingpin versus Gilmore, Drop Dead versus JoJo. We can save that for Easter. Encino Man versus Iceman, Legend versus Willow, Total Recall versus RoboCop, both remakes, and Ed TV versus The Truman Show. So what do you feel like for next week, buddy boy?
Yeah, what do you guys feel like for next week?
Yes, Q versus Saw will absolutely have butt pucker. We'll have several scenes for butt puckers.
Yikes.
I've got Q, but I'm sorry, I put it at the top. Q versus Saw on there as well. But what do you think?
You said, holy smokes, I need food and drink in my mouth. Never-ending Story versus what?
Labyrinth.
Ooh, those are two good ones. The Princess Bride. We never did that one. Remember that movie?
Yeah. We didn't do that one.
Oh, Jojo Rabbit versus Imaginary Friends. Oh, what was the other Imaginary Friend movie? It was
Drop Dead Fred.
Drop Dead Fred. Let's do that next week.
You don't want to save it for Easter? We can't. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Oh
necessarily.
yeah, we're saving that for Easter. That's coming up anyway. So let's do something else. Oh, we never did a heist movie. It would be
Ocean's 11 versus something. We couldn't figure out. That's why I didn't.
Heat. Heat is a heist movie.
Yeah, I thought it was. Ocean's 11 versus Heat. Heat's like 3 hours though.
Oh yeah,
It's a long movie,
but it's a good movie.
yeah, it's a good.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna. Oh, I forgot about that movie. That movie's fucking hilarious.
What?
Logan Lucky. You ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
It's a really funny movie. Right.
I thought it was an action movie.
It is kind of.
Like an action film.
The Town is a. Did you ever see that one?
I did. It was all right, but I'd read the book first, so it kind of spoiled me a little bit. But I thought it was good.
Heat, Lookout, Inception, Army of the Dead was a good one. Solo.
Star Wars story.
I
never actually got a.
You never saw Solo?
I never thought. Because I heard a bunch of bad stuff about it, so I just didn't get around to seeing it.
Hold on a second here. Is that a heist movie? Now I want you to see Solo. I'm like, how do we make this happen? I'm trying to. We didn't do a Flash Gordon versus Big Trouble in Little China.
No, we haven't done that one yet. Big Flash versus Big Trouble.
Oh, and I was thinking the other day, Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Uh-huh.
And there was another movie where somebody goes back. That was an 80s movie also. God.
Or Billy Madison, you mean?
It was Billy Madison, I think. Back to School versus Back to School. Jackie Brown. I don't even remember that movie.
I remember. It was. It's okay. Some people have said it's a Tarantino film, but it came out after Pulp Fiction and it's like his other couple hits, and it wasn't as great. Some people say just watch it again because
it was so overshadowed that.
Yeah, that it just wasn't as good as the others, but it's still a very good movie.
Hey, did
we already did Rogue One, Mel. We did Rogue One versus Inglourious Bastards. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you ever see A Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Or we could do Hacksaw Ridge versus Private Ryan. But in Hacksaw Ridge it's a war movie, right?
Hacksaw Ridge is a war movie, and Andrew Garfield plays a guy that refuses to hurt anybody, and they give him a lot of shit for it at the beginning, like he doesn't want to shoot anybody, but but
Well, that's
he ends up like going out and like just rescuing people, and he ends up dragging. This is based on true story. Just a ridiculous amount of people. To where in the beginning everybody's giving him a hard time, but by the end of it, he turned into like the biggest hero. Where he was just, I mean, he saved like 75 people that he carried, you know, and stuff. Like,
yeah.
it's a pretty awesome story. I just never got to see the movie.
And yeah, I'll watch any World War II movie ever. Anytime, anywhere. That's like my.
Yeah, Saving Private Ryan's another great one.
Like, would you rather save this one freaking Matt Damon or 72 dudes?
That's actually a good matchup.
How many people died to save fucking Matt Damon?
Versus this guy. It is the polar opposite. What do we got going on here?
Always Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
I love how Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel always dogs him somehow. Like they have the fun.
I love that there's Fat Damon that exists and looks exactly like him, except like the fat version.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, you do. He's been like in 3 movies that we've covered. What's the most recent one? Which one was Fat Damon in? God damn it. We just did it.
Logan Lucky was a pretty fun movie.
Well, if it's an action comedy, that would go good against Killing Gunther. Did you ever see Killing Gunther?
What's Killing Gunther?
It's a movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger is the best assassin in the history of the world named Gunther. And so all these other assassins have to go kill him. But all the other assassins are played by comedians. And it's like, it's pretty hilarious. Like at first I was expecting an all-out action movie with Arnold. Arnold's barely in it, but he's the main guy. And it's pretty great if you haven't seen Killing Gunther. So I haven't seen Logan.
Yeah, Logan Lucky is West Virginia family man Jimmy Logan teams up with his one-armed brother Clyde and sis Melly to steal money from the Charlotte Motor Speedway in North Carolina. Jimmy also recruits demolition expert Joe Bang to help them break into the track's underground system. Complications arise when a mix-up forces the crew to pull off the heist during a popular NASCAR race, while also trying to dodge a relentless FBI agent. And I mean, you have like the cast is stupid. You got Daniel Craig's a guy that's in prison that they're trying to get because they need somebody that knows how to break into places, and he's in prison for it. So they're like, what if we get so and so? Adam Driver is a bartender, and he's the one with one arm, and Channing Tatum is in it, and Hilary Swank and Katie Holmes, and it's a really good cast. Yeah, so I remember I watched that movie and I was like, what the hell is this? And I watched it, and it was one of those pleasant surprises. I remember laughing a lot and being like, dude, this movie fucking rips. Like this is great. So let's do that because it was a fun movie, and I'll enjoy the Arnold movie because I haven't seen that yet, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, and that's the way you're describing it exactly how I felt about Killing Gunther. I was just like, here's an Arnold movie I haven't seen, and like popped it in. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? And then by the end, I was like, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, okay. Awesome, cool. Well, that's Logan Lucky
versus Killing Gunther.
Killing Gunther. All right, I gotta find that in here. Killing Gunther. Boom. Well, that's a 2017. That's a pretty recent movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, how have I never heard of this? It's an Arnold movie, but he's the main character, but he's not in it a whole lot.
Okay, awesome.
And then Hacksaw Ridge versus Private Ryan. I'm just writing the other ones down. And I'll text them to you later.
Sweet.
All right, so next
yes.
week, Logan Lucky versus Killing Gunther, guys.
Cool. We got a matchup.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Action comedies.
Well, gang, thank you as always every Friday to you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us, putting up with our crazy jokes, and just to.
Yes, thank you guys. Good to hang out with the Friday fam.
Yeah, we always like hanging out with you guys. You know what that means when you hear that sound.
Yes, Bobby. Logan Loki versus Killing Gunther.
When you hear that sound, it's time to look. It's time to subscribe. All right. Get out of here. There we go. Get out of here, Van Damme. Well, gang, we'll see you next week. As always, wait, what? You're going to an Unwritten Law concert? I won't be here April 7th. I toured with Unwritten Law. I know those guys.
I can't see some of the. Oh, those must be the Facebook comments or something because I can't see those.
Yeah.
Oh no, I see it. That's right. It's Mel's right there. Never mind.
Yeah, it's Mel. Yeah, Unwritten Law concert. Yeah, we toured with them. They were nice dudes. But all right, well, gang, we're gonna see you next week. Thank you once again for tuning in, and Curtis.
Yes, sir.
As always, good hanging with you on a Friday night.
Thank you for having me.
I'm gonna go get some dog food now for my pooch, and some food for me. So that was exciting. Yeah. So gang,
crazy Friday night.
Let me try that again. Guys, thanks again for tuning in to Versus. It's always good hanging out with you guys on a Friday night. Next week, we got Logan Gunther versus Killing. We got Killing Gunther versus Logan Lucky. It's going to be a fun lineup, and man, I can't wait. So we'll see you guys next week, as always, and love you guys, and appreciate all of you patrons out there who support the channel. That's how we keep the internet from getting disconnected for 3 days. So we appreciate you guys, and we will see you again soon.